Hey everybody, how you doing? Okay, week 6, marketing. I really wanted to change it up. I really wanted to get into the marketing section. I think it's critical importance for any entrepreneur, anyone looking to start up. The truth is, if you can't sell your product or get it known or your service, or you can't show your special, you're gonna fail. So let's not even mess around. Let's be honest, this is one of those critical areas that we can't ignore and shouldn't ignore. So I really wanted to talk about I've got some videos I've done in the past, which I'm going to upload, talking about content marketing, talking about SEO and pay-per-click for like Google advertisings and things like that, as well as crowdfunding. I'll put that up as well, just because it is a financing method, but it is a method of marketing. It actually fits into both categories. So I want to put it up this week for you. So instead of, I'm going to upload a PowerPoint, but instead of doing a voiceover on it, which I was originally going to do, I was like, it's going to be so boring. So what I want you to do is review it. The way I'm going to do the post this week, you'll have a chance to ask me a question from it, and I'm going to get you to, and I'll put that up very soon as well. But I wanted to talk about some of the key facts and some of the key things in regards to marketing that you need to make sure you're aware of, or just the main areas. So content marketing, I've already, like I said, got the video, SEO and pay-per-click. That'll explain how to advertise with Google and stuff. And remember, this is meant to be high level. I'm not trying to get into the exact method, but the high level stuff. And then the idea for you is to give me a question, and hopefully I'll be able to give you an answer. So that's what I'm hoping to do here. Now, when it comes to other marketing, so first of all, we got the traditional marketing, okay? That's your paper marketing, that's your email newsletter, your physical newsletter, that's your flyers in your mailbox. That is all that traditional stuff. And basically what traditional is in general, in most people's viewpoint, is we remove social media and that side. So the really tech side of it from my viewpoint. And we focus on the more old school, let's say, marketing. And I want to be clear, it works, okay? It's extremely important. I know, as times change, there's all these new methods out there, but for hard connections, it's critical. So I'm a realtor, and in my business, as soon as I started doing drip campaigns, which basically meant I stayed in contact with my people at minimum, every single client, at least once a month. And keep in mind, when you're dealing with hundreds of clients, that's a fair amount. Now, that can be an email, it could be a text, could have been a phone call, could have been taking them out for lunch, but it also, the newsletters and stuff like that, just so they see my face, they know what's going on. I provide them some value. Ever since I did that, I raised my business by over 60%. It's the simplest of changes. You don't think it's that big or that important, but it is, because unless you stay top of mind for people, you lose out. And you can hear all these sob stories about people like, oh, I can't believe this person didn't use me. They know I do this. And then I dive in. I'm like, hey, well, when's the last time you saw them? Oh, I saw them yesterday, a week before. I'm like, oh, good. Did you talk about the business? Did you talk about how successful you're doing, even if you're not trying to solicit them? Did you, just bring it back into their mind that that's what you do? And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, when the last time did you do it? And they're like, well, they know I do it. I'm like, okay, just when's the last time? And then they'll go back and say, well, it was like a couple of years ago. And I'm like, okay, that's on you. Because the truth is, people, if you don't stay top of mind, they don't mean to. They're not doing it intentionally. They're not doing it because they're mad at you. They're not, but they do forget about you. I mean, look at today in social media. I mean, stories don't last that long. I mean, so for example, yesterday, Trump had this big rally in Tulsa that actually TikTok, as well as other social media sites, started to promote, say you're going to go, but don't go. And he actually had the worst tune I expected, and he was promoting it. They got 1 million people registered and all this, and only, I think, 6,500 people showed out for a stadium of about 19,000, mixed with, he also had saved a whole nother, what they called an overflow area, which never even got touched. I mean, he was absolutely frustrated with it, but it also shows the power of social media. Because for me, TikTok users were the driver to that. And TikTok is new. I mean, I know a lot of you haven't. I'm sure a lot of you have used it. But TikTok, I mean, it's a couple years old, maybe 3, but in the sense of practical, large-scale awareness, 2, in my opinion, at max. And it is unbelievably powerful. But so is other things, YouTube, Facebook, depending on your age groups. I mean, these all have different uses, Snapchat, all the rest, of course, Insta, and there's a lot more. But my point to it is that this social media side has gained an unbelievable amount of power. And it's important to recognize that you represent your brand these days, even outside your work. So for example, lots of people have been fired based on what they wrote on their personal social medias because it conflicts with the company's social media policy. So we are a reflection of our brand, whether you work for a company or yourself. So you have to be very careful you create a consistent, uniform brand, okay? And that is probably the biggest lesson I can give everybody. I have done this a long time. I've started, made a lot of successful businesses these days, and outside real estate as well. And the key is consistent branding, okay? The problem is what I find is a lot of people do one piece of marketing or another piece and they try all these different things. That sounds great, but the problem is you got to create a uniform brand, a uniform message, okay? You want everyone to be like, okay, Wes Aranto Real Estate stands for this. So you want to do the same for your company, okay? And you want to do that for all your companies. You want to stand for something. You want to have a meaning past just your business. And that's why, for example, in your business plans, I made a few comments for goals, not following SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time-bound. And I gave an example in the announcement. But also when you're dealing with your own businesses, you want to make sure that people know you have this goal. Like, I don't sell houses, okay? That's a byproduct of what I do. I like to help people through the largest transaction or the largest decision of their lives. That's what I love, okay? And that's my focus, okay? Is that I'm helping people make an informed decision on the biggest decision of their lives for most of them, financially. And so the thing is, when you position it that way, it's no longer about selling a house or doing showings. It's about helping somebody, and that is one of my key drivers in my business. And so the thing is, I want you to figure out what your drivers are. Okay, money cannot be the driver. If it is, most of you will fail if that's your main driver. That will be a byproduct, and it's an important byproduct. Make no mistake, I am successful, and it means a ton to be, okay? But don't let it be your driver. Okay, the other thing, consistent with the brand. So for example, lots of people, if I ask you to make a marketing plan, the thing that drives me nuts, people are like, oh yeah, I think I'll spend about $500, $1,000 on my new business. No, you won't. I wish you could, but no. If you want to do it successfully, even your sheer time, if you factor it, is going to cost you a lot. Okay, I'm not saying you can't do it relatively cost effectively. You can, but if you do, you have to work way harder and it takes way longer. Okay, so for example, most businesses, if you, for example, I think some of them were, some of you who did your business plan were talking about your healthcare fields, dentist, massage therapist, other things like that. If you think you're starting your own business without an absolute bare bone minimum of $10,000 in marketing in your first year, you're wrong. You're going to need to. The thing is, you have to factor, there's all these other costs like advertising, building your marketing, building your website. Building a good website, yes, you can get the free ones. Most of them are garbage. I'll start you there. Most people spend at minimum $5,000, $10,000 on their website alone just to build something that can truly be recognized by Google so that it's actually wins out over the competition. It's not just good enough to have it. You got to be better than the others. And that's why things like this add up in expense. But it is important to recognize that spending some money to help build the business is important, okay? And reinvesting, sorry, there's another one. Please reinvest in your marketing plan. All right, build a long-term plan. It'll develop and it'll change over time like a business plan does, but you really want to make sure you do that. Trust me, it'll help you, it will, okay? It's super critical. And yeah, so we've got our traditional, we've got the social media side. Focus on just one or two, okay? Don't try to be the master of 100 things. Don't try to be the master of TikTok and Facebook and Twitter all at the same time. Won't work. Now, you can create social media apps so that when you post to one, it goes to others. But for example, if you really want to become really well known on one, you got to focus on it. You have to spend a ton of time, do a ton of research. Make sure that you give somebody something of quality, okay? And that quality can be anything, okay? It's just, it has to represent and reflect you. It needs to be quality, okay? Because if you look at most people that get burned on social media, it's because they're not reflecting their brand, okay? So for example, what's her name? Rollins, sorry, who wrote the Harry Potter series, one most successful series. You know, she became a billionaire because of it. She's really under heat right now based on her stance in transgender equality, as well as a bunch of her authors have just recently left her based on her stance and her unwillingness to move off it. So she's sticking to her belief possibly, but at the same time you have to be careful because in that case, for example, she's making an economic decision by doing that. Now, I'm not saying she can't afford to, but the point is that she definitely has hurt her fan base, as well as definitely insulted a large group of people by taking the stance she has. So you need to be very careful in your decisions, and you need to take them. So the problem with social media, it's really easy to do something, especially, you know, send out a message, respond to someone who maybe responded poorly to you or gave you bad feedback. Be very careful. Don't write it in anger, okay? Do it, calm down, write it, wait till you're calm, then send it. Okay, because if you do half of those 3/4, I'd argue you'll delete, and it's the other issue. Now, I will say in there, you also see the 7 sins of email marketing. Those are really good. My other videos are a bit older, but the truth is they still apply 100%, and that's why I wanted to add this new one just to talk a little bit about the high level. I'm going to put up the PowerPoint just so you can see it and skim through, and then I'll put up the assignment. So everybody, have a great week. I'm super stoked, and I am going to try to do a live class, okay? It's not going to be mandatory, but I am going to reach out and give a date or two and see if people think they can make it. I'd just love to meet all of you. This isn't about marks or anything like this. This is more like, it'd be nice to meet everyone, put a face. Hopefully you've got my face now, and I'd like to put a face to your name, and it'd be nice. It'd be nice. You never know in the future when it can be helpful. Honestly, you'd be surprised how much teaching even affects my real estate business. So the point is, never make the assumption that it's just this. Always treat people well and promote your business. All right. Hope this helps. I really do. Please take it to heart. Okay. Thank you. Have a great day.